So many horrific accusations, though, involving young singers, like children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
Yeah.
They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there.
What's going on with you guys? Are you working together?
I'm not. I mean, I think that we've become friends in a strange way, you know.
Flown out to Atlanta by a manager. His name's Scooter Braun. Flown out to Atlanta just to meet with him and meet different producers and different people. I was actually going to meet Jermaine Dupri at his studio. And who rolls up? Usher in his Range Rover.
Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute, and his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that.
Big.
Yeah, it's like exactly.
I'm big in it, Robert.
Yeah. No, I mean, to a lot of us, he's like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to call and ask for advice. He's somebody that, in the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, you know, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person besides his talent.
And good luck when you're older. You know, Justin Bieber had a post the other day on his Instagram talking about all the drugs that he did when he was younger and how much it fucked him up. And now he's got a relationship with the Lord, and he's married, and he's trying to be a normal person.
It rolls up, and I was like, is that who I think it is? And Scooter was like, yeah. And so I ran up to him, and I was like, Usher, I love your songs. You want me to sing you one? And he was like, let's just go inside, little buddy. It's cold out.
Y'all, the internet is in full-on detective mode again, and this time the case file has one name written all over it: Justin Bieber. Fans are convinced his new album Swag isn't just another round of love songs and radio hits. They believe it's packed with hidden messages, coded lines that might finally be hinting at what really happened to him when he was young in the industry. And with the bombshell allegations and criminal trial hanging over Sean Diddy Combs right now, people are starting to connect dots that have been sitting in plain sight for years. And because here's the thing, Bieber didn't just grow up in fame, he was thrown into it. Discovered on YouTube at just 13 years old, signed to a massive record deal, and instantly turned into the face of a billion-dollar teen machine. The haircut, the merch, the tours, every second of his life was planned out. It was a dream for the fans, but for Bieber, it was a childhood that disappeared overnight. He's admitted it himself. In multiple interviews, Justin has said fame took away his innocence.
The you of then was on a path of self-destruction.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would have, for sure, 100%. Yeah. It would have been no bueno. It was bad. I don't know if I'd be alive, for sure. It was dark. So I'm very, very grateful to have influences in my life that have played a huge part in me seeing their relationship with Jesus and their relationship with their wives and their relationship with their kids and saying that's what I want. But I want to definitely tell my story so that if that resonates to anybody, that they can hopefully. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters and
He's talked about feeling controlled, overworked, and surrounded by people who cared more about what he could make them than who he actually was. But up until now, it's always been general, never naming names, never pointing fingers. That's why fans are dissecting Swag like it's a crime scene. Bieber sings about being pushed too far and people who pretend to care until they get what they want. On paper, it could be about a toxic relationship, but hardcore fans say it's about something way bigger. The entire system that chewed him up and sold him to the world before he even knew who he was.
He did an interview back in 2020 with Zane Lowe. I think this was on Apple Music. And he was speaking about another young artist that was coming up, Billie Eilish, and Eilish. And he was basically speaking about how he wanted to protect her because she was now another young person, a rising artist in the industry. And sort of out of nowhere, he became quite overcome with emotion.
He talks about being used and beaten down and playing a part until he doesn't recognize himself anymore. Those lines hit hard when you remember how heavily controlled his early image was. Everything from what he wore to how he spoke in interviews was curated for maximum marketability, with very little room for him to simply be a kid. And there's that line, "You just want money, you never wanted me," which feels like it's aimed straight at the suits in the boardrooms, because for years Justin was the product, and just like with so many child stars before him, once you stop making money, the industry finds the next kid and moves on without a second thought. This isn't the first time Bieber has hinted at darker truths. Back in 2020, his song Lonely painted a bleak picture of what it was like growing up in front of the world. Rich, famous, adored, but completely isolated. And even earlier in I'll Show You, he warned that the world doesn't see the damage happening behind the scenes. There's a pattern here, and longtime fans have been clocking it for years. But now the timing of swag alongside everything happening in the Diddy trial is making those hints feel less like coincidences and more like carefully placed messages. And that's where things get uncomfortable, because it means looking back at moments from Bieber's past with brand new eyes. Back in the late 2000s and early 2010, Justin wasn't just performing on stage. He was often photographed alongside major power players in music, and one of those was Sean Diddy Combs. At the time, it looked like a mentor situation, a music mogul taking a young star under his wing, maybe showing him the ropes. But now, with the disturbing allegations and ongoing trial painting a far darker picture of Diddy's world, people are asking the obvious question: why was a teenage Justin Bieber in those spaces at all? There's one clip that's gone viral again in light of the trial. Diddy telling the camera he was going to hang out with Bieber for the next 48 hours. Back then, people laughed it off. Now, with court testimony describing Diddy's private world in detail, that video feels different. And it's not just one clip. There are photos of Justin at parties, on private jets, in environments no teenager should be in without trusted protection. Whether anything inappropriate happened or not, the optics are bad. And in today's climate, bad optics fuel endless speculation. Every picture, every video from that time is now being pulled apart, slowed down, and analyzed for clues. If you've been following Bieber for a while, you remember Yummy, the sugary pop track that came with a pastel, almost unsettling music video. Strange dinner scenes, bizarre food imagery, and moments that fans immediately dissected for hidden meaning. Some believed it was symbolic, a secret message about exploitation in the entertainment industry. Bieber said it was about his relationship with Hailey, but for a certain corner of the internet, that explanation never erased the feeling that something else was going on. They pointed to props, background actors, even color schemes as evidence of a deeper meaning. Now, with new lyrics about betrayal, manipulation, and being used, and the Diddy headlines dominating the news, that theory is resurfacing, and fans are putting old and new pieces together like a giant puzzle, convinced Bieber is leaving a trail only his most loyal followers will understand. Earlier this year, a track went viral online that supposedly had Bieber singing about going to a disturbing Diddy party. The problem, it wasn't real, it was AI generated. CBS News even confirmed it. But here's what's telling, people believed it instantly. That's how ready the public is to connect Bieber's past to what's coming out about Diddy now. Even when proven fake, the story stuck in people's heads. And in a way, that says more about how people view the industry than it does about Bieber himself. That's the question everyone keeps circling back to. Why was a teenage Bieber, one of the most valuable, marketable artists in the world, spending extended time with a man now accused of some of the most disturbing behavior the music industry has ever seen?
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything?
Yeah,
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right, okay.
My number?
Why did his handlers think that was okay? Why didn't anyone step in to keep him out of those environments? Bieber has never accused Diddy of anything. He's never told a negative story about him. But silence leaves space for speculation, and as long as Bieber stays quiet, the theories will keep growing, especially when his new music keeps feeding into themes of pain, betrayal, and exploitation.
Months ago, I was really struggling mentally and emotionally, and just there were so many things that were adding up, and I wasn't able to enjoy any of the things that I owned.
That stuff's not gonna matter to you.
None of the actual things did anything because I was so hurt and I was so confused and I was so sick and there was all these things and I was like, I can't, there's like, you just can't, like you said, you can't enjoy the actual
physical, tangible like things that money offers, right?
It's not like we haven't seen this play out before. Britney Spears sang about being controlled years before revealing the details of her conservatorship. Kesha's most emotional songs took on a whole new meaning after she accused her former producer of abuse. Even Michael Jackson, as a child star, was surrounded by adults who were supposed to protect him but ultimately failed. Artists have a history of leaving breadcrumbs in their music when they can't speak directly. And for some fans, Bieber's swag is starting to look like a trail of them. They're convinced the writing is there, the emotions are real, and the timing, coming right as the Diddy case unfolds, is no accident. So is Justin Bieber speaking out in code, or are we projecting our theories onto lyrics that could just be about relationships and fame? Only Justin knows. But with every new headline about Diddy, every resurfaced clip of them together, and every lyric that feels like it's aimed at someone, this conversation isn't going anywhere. And every time Bieber releases a new song, fans are going to be listening for clues, trying to figure out if he's finally telling them what they've suspected all along. And maybe that's the point, because whether or not Bieber ever spells it out, fans are listening, and they're convinced his music is telling them exactly what they've been suspecting for years, even if the truth is something he's not ready or not able to say out loud yet.